AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood, Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Cassie Spazzale.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Muso.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Happy Wade Day.
Mike.
Too soon?
What day is it, Mike?
Too soon? Is it too soon?
Hump day.
I don't think it's too soon. Nope.
It's hump day.
In a literal sense, it's too soon.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Yeah,
But man, is it close.
Hump day.
We got the latest on Will Wade and LSU.
It's hump day.
Meanwhile,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wilson Day.
Hump day.
We lose one Wilson.
It's hump day.
We gain another.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not sure if you saw, Wilson Alexander's leaving the Advocate.
Hump day.
Wilson Alexander leaving the Advocate. But Zach Wilson coming to the Saints.
It's hump day.
How about that? LSU baseball got a win last night.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Man, it was ugly.
Hump day.
Until it wasn't.
It's hump day.
Talk about that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Bourbon Dictionary.
Hump day.
Mama Scone.
It's hump day.
Lot to do. Lot to do.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, we got a lot to go. A lot to do, so let's get going here. Let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Man, the LSU basketball program has been relegated to complete and total irrelevance. Apathy has set in among LSU fans. The most surefire way to fix that is hiring Will Wade. And LSU is on a mission to get that done. Now, let me tell you the latest and a little bit of the backstory to catch up, which I think a lot of people know, because a lot of what we're going to talk about shouldn't be a surprise to literally anybody. Because a year ago, like this has been so openly talked about now for a year that it's not like anybody's breaking news on this part of it, okay? A year ago, Governor Jeff Landry, Lee Mallett, who's a Board of Supervisors member at the time, now the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, they were in cahoots. I like that word. You like the word cahoots? I like that word.
That's a very good word.
Cahoots.
Needs to be used more.
They were in cahoots to bring Will Wade from McNeese back to LSU. Deal was in place. Scott Woodward was not on board, nixed it. That is in part, not the entire reason, but in part why Scott Woodward is no longer LSU's athletic director. It's one of the reasons. to set up my bottles here. Hang on. Got to set up my bottles. Hang on. I'm going to get going in a second again. Forgot to set up my desk. Had all the stuff here. Just randomly spattered on the desk. Okay. So, a year ago, the governor, Lee Mallett, then board member, now chairman of the board, Lee Mallett, were in cahoots to try to get Will Wade back. Deal was done. It was going to happen. Scott Woodward nixed it. That is in part why Scott Woodward is no longer, not the only reason, but in part why Scott Woodward is no longer the athletic director at LSU. It's one of really three primary reasons. In any event, since then, Wade Roos, president from McNeese, is now the president of the LSU system. The aforementioned Lee Mallett has effectively been, quote unquote, promoted by Governor Landry to the chairman of the LSU board. So you have the governor, the chairman of the LSU board, and the system president, all now in alignment, who want Will Wade back at LSU. We have talked about that before. That is not breaking news. That should be of no surprise to quite literally anyone. The big question all throughout this entire conversation was really twofold. Number one, would LSU spend the money to buy out Matt McMahon and his staff? That number is going to be close to $11 million. You've heard me say it many times that LSU does not have that money. They could go fundraise it. They would throw more dead money onto an already heaping pile of dead money, contracts to pay people not to work. And as you heard from boosters who have openly said it, several of them, that there isn't a strong appetite. And I've had no less than 5 conversations with very prominent boosters who are not interested in helping pay Matt McMahon's buyout. Okay. However, for the opportunity to get Will Wade back at LSU, that was going to generate enough interest. And we did our very informal poll here a couple of weeks ago, and was it 90% of you, maybe more than 90% of y'all, were on board with bringing back Will Wade. I think this is going to unanimously among LSU fans, or almost unanimously, will be met with rousing approval. Okay. Now, it's also fair to mention that a year ago, when Scott Woodward nixed this, Verge Osbury was one of the chief lieutenants and was in line with Scott in not bringing back Will Wade. So if this gets pushed through, it's not Verge Osbury leading that charge. Would he be in line with governor, system president, board president? I mean, he would have to be, right? He would have to fall in line there. But he's not the one leading the charge here. Here's what I was able to find out today. So last night, many people probably saw percolating on social media from the NC State side that some of the reports came like it was becoming very real that Will Wade to LSU is a real thing. Earlier today, we reported this over at LouisianaSports.net. I tweeted it as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Moscona if you don't already. Good luck with the vowels if you don't know them. But that Will Wade met with NC State officials here on Wednesday to discuss those reports. So effectively, NC State media starts percolating out there, popping out there that Will Wade to LSU is a real thing. And so NC State officials meet with Wade and they go, what's going on? First of all, shame on you, NC State officials, for being so blinded to the reality of what was staring you right in the face for so long about this being a very real possibility. So they go meet with Will Wade. As I understand it, coming out of that meeting, Will Wade expressed the real possibility of him returning to LSU, contingent on a few things, which we'll talk about here in a second. I was told NC State is expected to make a very competitive offer for Wade to stay. That should happen within 24 hours. My very strongly held feel, now I'm giving you an opinion, is that I think Will Wade is going to come back to LSU. And I think he'll come back to LSU even accepting less money than he would have made under a new deal at NC State. A huge part of that alignment, and by the way, if and when Will Wade is hired, and he stands at, I want you to remember this, file it away, Muse, clip this, please, write this down and clip it. Will Wade, during his press conference, if he does in fact come back to LSU, will use the word alignment. Governor, chairman of the board, university president, all that. And the very key piece is Heath Schroyer. So we've talked about this as well. Heath Schroyer is the AD at McNeese. He was there, the AD at McNeese. And we've had Heath on the show several times over the years. Met Heath when we did our show in McNeese with our friends from Mockler Beverage a few years ago. Great dude, heavily into basketball as well. And LSU was working to bring Heath Schroyer so Will would have sort of an ally within the athletic administration, if that makes sense. I don't know what the title would be, but effectively Heath would be there within athletic administration helping Will execute whatever the things he would want here at LSU. There's the component of the buyout, which, as you know, is $5 million. If Will Wade were to leave NC State, he would owe NC State $5 million. That number drops by $2 million to $3 million after April 1st, so April 2nd. As I understand it, LSU is content to wait. There's no rush. LSU has a coach. Matt McMahon is LSU's coach. They don't have to rush this by a week. So they'll wait a week to save $2 million. As this continues to ramp up, if it becomes very apparent that Will Wade is going to leave NC State for LSU, NC State could want to move this along more quickly so they can get to hiring a coach. The transfer portal window opens on April the 7th. So as to speed this process along, they could maybe agree to a settlement of that buyout. Let's say instead of paying $5 million and not all the way down to $3 million, LSU pays $4 million. You save $1 million. That could be a way that they go about doing it. So that's contingent of obviously on Will Wade choosing to accept the LSU job if he does, which I believe at this point. And again, I said this so many times throughout the Lane Kiffin saga. I'll say it again here, and I say it every time there's a coaching search. Nothing is ever done until the ink is dry. We have quite literally seen coaches do their introductory press conference and then leave. Pat Murphy did that. We came from Alabama to LSU to be the softball coach and then left. Billy Donovan did it with the Orlando Magic. I mean, we've seen this before. So it's never done until it's done. Ink dry, coach at the podium, and even sometimes then it's still not done. But I do believe that at this point, especially if/when LSU announces Heath Schroyer joining the athletic department, that tells you the dominoes have all fallen in place for Will to come back to LSU. Now, when that happens, we'll have all the conversation about what that means, what the ceiling is, why Will would leave, which I think is the biggest question many have. It's a question I had that I asked initially. Why would he leave a place that actually cares about basketball to come to a place that doesn't? And a big part of it, I think, is his people are here. All the people I just mentioned, Wade Roos, potentially Heath Schroyer. He's got a lot of friends here who he still talks to. And I think the other part of it is Will Wade, in the eyes of college basketball, is a villain. He was vilified back in the whole FBI wiretap investigation piece. And this collective group, the LSU fan base, stood in front of him and took those arrows. While he's a villain everywhere else, he's a hero here. And I don't minimize the importance of that one iota. So while there is certainly not unanimous agreement among decision makers from the state level, the university level, the athletic administration, boosters, this is not unanimous agreement. The most influential people, and I'm talking about the governor of this state, the chairman of the board, the president of the university system, they want this, and they're pushing to get their way. And they tried last year, didn't get their way, and there were consequences for people who stood in the way. And they're trying to make it happen now, and they are really close. So, barring Will Wade getting cold feet or NC State coming with some otherworldly type offer, it is certainly trending to where Will Wade is going to be back at LSU. But again, nothing's done until it is, and the biggest hurdle at this point is what does NC State counteroffer? What about the buyout? And, of course, timing. Do you wait till April 1st or does it happen sooner? If something happens here while we're on air, we'll talk about it. We'll let you know. All right, we are going to go to Lake Charles next. Jim Gazzolo covers McNeese Athletics. We'll talk to him about Will, the Heath Schroyer component of it all. We'll do that as we continue. It is After Further Review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Tiger baseball got a win last night. Home weekend with Kentucky coming in. You're going to be out at the box. Make sure, whether you're in the box, in the parking lot, tailgating, at your favorite restaurant, watering hole, drink plenty of delicious ice cold Bud Light. Ask for it by name, and be sure to pick up those officially licensed 16-ounce aluminum bottles and cans with the National Championship logo on it. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll head over to Lake Charles next. Here, stick around.
AFR.
GLO, Glow Resources, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions. There are Glow Resources and glowresources.com. Remember, if you're hiring, you have that job that you need to fill, they specialize in skilled blue-collar labor, but they also, over at Glow, have their professional placement division. So that's any type of office job. They can help you out at Glow Resources. You know, at Glow, they're so confident in their ability to find the right person, the permanent solution for your job, that they guarantee it. They have a 96% success rate. If for whatever reason, Glow Resources hires someone for your business and it doesn't work out, for whatever reason, they will give you a prorated refund or find you a new employee absolutely free. It's Glow Resources. Maximize productivity with the right people and let Glow Resources help. GLO, glowresources.com.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All signs are pointing now that the LSU job is going to be open and they're going to part ways with Matt McMahon. I'm telling you, barring something unforeseen, Will Wade is going to be the next coach of LSU. They are not going to fire Matt McMahon and do a national search. They are firing Matt McMahon to hire Will Wade and getting Heath Schroyer in place, which again, the deal isn't done yet, but they're working to finalize it. Getting that in place is going to give Will Wade the affirmation he needs.
John Rothstein, that was on the Inside College Basketball Now podcast, saying at a national level what I think everybody has been saying. So it's you have two options if you're LSU. You either get Will Wade from NC State or they're running it back with Matt McMahon. But there are conditions that have to fall in line. Jim Gazzolo from the American Press there in Lake Charles, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. Hey, Jim, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You don't want to talk about the McNeese tennis or anything?
Respectfully, I'll pass, Jim.
Okay.
I think we got bigger fish to fry. Okay, give me your reaction to all this, if you would.
A year later than I expected. A year later than I wrote. Yeah, I wrote this a year ago that this was going to happen. It was close to happening a year ago, and now it's happening basically on schedule, I would think.
No,
this is not a surprise to me whatsoever.
No, Jim, look, candidly, I know you didn't hear the open of the show, but we have been talking about this for a year, that the governor and Lee Mallett tried to have this all fall in place a year ago. It's a big part of the reason why Scott Woodward isn't at LSU anymore. I think the big question is how it makes a lot of sense, Jim, why Will Wade would leave McNeese for LSU, but why he would leave NC State, which is truly a basketball job, for LSU is a little bit more ambiguous. So take your crack there.
Very simple. This is unfinished business for Will Wade. He wants to prove and finish the job that he started at LSU. He doesn't feel good about the way he went out. He doesn't feel good about some of the things that happened. And I think he just wants to run it back and tell all the people, I was here to win, and I'm here to win again.
What about the Heath Schroyer component of this story?
I don't think it happens without Heath Schroyer. I think they're a package deal. I think they've always been a package deal. It's all because of the fact that they had success here. They trusted each other. Heath went out on a limb. the thing I learned about Will Wade in his time here, which is a completely different Will Wade than the Will Wade that was at LSU, was he understood that the town needed him and he needed the town, and he is appreciative of that. He has set up McNeese for success in the future. I think this is one of the best things that could happen to McNeese because the pipeline is now just 2 hours away. So that's why I thought the setup was always right. And Schroyer is the guy that will have his back. He had his back at his darkest moment and his back now.
Jim Gazzolo is with us from the American Press there in Lake Charles. You mentioned that Will Wade is different now than he was his first go-round at LSU. How?
Well, I think he understands that he was probably a little abrasive to people in the past, that he understands that he got a second chance and he wants to make the most of it. He talked numerous times about all the things he did here, how hard it was for him to leave here because how the people embraced him. So I think that those are things that make you grow outside of the basketball court. I think he understood that more so now than ever before. And when you talk to him, you can talk to him about a lot of different things. I can give you an example. The night before, he's standing in the court waiting to come on the court for the final game at McNeese. It's Lamar in the title game, and he's throwing up in the back because he's worried that if he loses this game, he can't leave and go to North Carolina State or LSU because the job wasn't complete. He hadn't set McNeese up the way they had set him up. He was very appreciative of that, and I think those are the things he wouldn't have had the previous years.
Let me go back to Heath Schroyer. I met Heath. He's been on the show. I can't say that I know him or know him very well. What can you tell us about him?
He has taken McNeese from the darkest of darks. August 20th or August 26th, 2020, I wrote that McNeese is the worst Division I basketball or worst Division I athletic department in the country because of the hurricanes, because of all the damage. He was an interim AD that had no experience. They were $3 million in debt on an academic probation for football. This was the dumpster fire of dumpster fires. And in 6 years, he has turned it around basically because he is the ideal face for an athletic department and the ideal pitchman for an athletic department. And he combined those two aspects and a belief that he could turn it around and make this something. And he willed it to happen, and he made the really tough decisions, the Will Wade decision being the toughest, to go out on a limb and say, this is what we're going to do and why we're going to do it, and it's going to work. But the biggest thing he did is he got the community to invest emotionally and financially in McNeese. He got $11 million last year in sponsorship and naming rights to facilities. That never happened at McNeese.
Hey, Jim, why do you suspect Will Wade and Heath Schroyer were a package deal at LSU?
I would say because there's the trust with Dr. Roos. It's the fit of what they did here together with the growth in attendance, enrollment, with the growth in the way they handled basketball, with the way that they built this thing together as far as financial more than anything else. And it is that component that I think they trust each other. I would say Will maybe doesn't trust all of LSU because of what happened, but he trusts Heath Schroyer.
I think that's a good way to put it. Jim Gazzolo is with us from the American Press there in Lake Charles. Let's say hypothetically, Jim, last one for you. Let's say hypothetically that Heath Schroyer does in fact end up at LSU. What does that mean for McNeese athletics?
Well, I think I think in a way it's the best possible scenario because eventually he's going to leave. I mean, that's what mid-majors are, and he's right down the road. He'll have ties to the area, which I think benefits McNeese. It's the best possible scenario unless he were to stay, and you got to assume that people are going to get better chances, better options, make more money, and go. Therefore, the best option is to keep him as close as possible. and maybe make McNeese the number 2 school in the state because of the relationship. So I think as long as you have a relationship with what's going on down the road at the big school, it's far better than not having one. And that is, I think, a big plus, just like I think it is a big plus to bring Will Wade back, because in today's game, this is the perfect pipeline for somebody at LSU to say, let's get this kid here for a year, have him play at McNeese, bring him over if he's good enough. That's the world we're living in. This is a perfect minor league facility for LSU.
Jim Gazzolo from the American Press giving us some perspective there on Heath Schroyer, Will Wade, and everything going on. Jim, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the time.
No problem.
It's After Further Review, brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, they do shutters too. Oh, and shades. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 83 degrees. We're ticking up. Going to be high of 84 tomorrow. Man, actually 85 today. Wow, getting up to 85. You know what that means. Triple-digit temps around the bend. You want to make your home energy efficient to lower your monthly energy bills? You could do that by installing energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. Measure twice, install once. Windows custom-made for your home. It'll keep your home climate-controlled, keep those costly air leaks out, keep the cool air in, lower your energy bills so your HVAC isn't working overtime. It all works together, and of course, it's going to beautify your home, and a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades too. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We do appreciate Jim for hanging out with us here for a couple of minutes, giving us some perspective. And, sometimes when people independent of each other I often say, when people independent of each other are telling the same story, that's when you start to look for commonalities and synergies. And as we all know, there's a lot of truth to this story that's been and want to from both sides for a year now. But finding the right time to make those pieces of the puzzle fit together so you can consummate this deal, that has taken time, and it may be now. As I'll say again, nothing is signed, and until the ink is dry, it ain't done. But this feels about as close as it can be without the ink being dry. So if and when the story advances and we learn more, we'll certainly share it with you. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We're going to knock out a quick break. Do want to talk some LSU baseball in 30 minutes. Tigers beat Louisiana Tech last night. Saints have added Zach Wilson. We'll get to that next hour. Also, let me go around the SEC. Taylor will be here for Bourbon Dictionary. A lot to do, and glad you're hanging out. It's AFR.
AFR.
How much is your home worth? You own your home? You own your own home? How much is it worth? I know how much mine is worth because I use the home value tool at agent225.com. That's Darren James's website, agent225.com, agent225.com. If you want to know what your home is worth, if you're going to sell your home, you need to know what it's worth. And even if you're not selling your home and you're just curious what your home is worth, cool. This is a totally free tool. Just go to agent225.com, agent225.com. Just go scroll down. If you're on the homepage, it's right there on the right. If you're on mobile, just scroll down and you'll see where it says home value. Click home value, type in your address, boom, in seconds, it'll use local market data. Like the national firm doesn't know if there was a new grocery store built next to your neighborhood or if there's been a new neighborhood coming up or a school or something like that. Local data to give you an accurate price. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. The SEC Gymnastics Awards are out. Congratulations. Kaylin Chio named the SEC Gymnast of the Year. She was absolutely outstanding. She's in the tops nationally in 3 different events. She's just flatly awesome. I never thought Haley Bryant, who just finished up her eligibility, is the greatest gymnast in LSU history. That's not hyperbole. If you don't watch the sport, that's okay. But she is literally, Haley Bryant, the best gymnast in the history of the program. Kaylin Chio is better as a sophomore than Haley Bryant was as a sophomore. And that's a mouthful. So we might be watching, quite literally here, what ends up being the greatest gymnast in the history of this program. Kalia Leakin was named the co-SEC Specialist of the Year, so congrats to her on that. Let's see. There was another one, I thought. No, I'm sorry. And then the all-SEC gymnasts this year for the Tigers were congratulations to Nina Ballew, Kaylin Chio, Kylie Cohen, Emily Innes, Kalia Lincoln, Connor McLean, Victoria Roberts, and Lexi Zeiss. Those are the ones that made all SEC. So congrats. I tell you, I don't know, Muse. I feel like maybe both Lexi Zeiss and Kaylin Chio got a little AFR karma. They were on the show in Nashville.
That's true. I forgot about that.
I mean, remember we made the trip to the Vanderbilt game with our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, and part of the show, they were NIL athletes with Our Lady of the Lake, and so they made the trip as well, and so they did meet and greets with LSU fans, and they were our celebrity guest pickers on the show, if you remember.
Yep.
Look, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I mean, they come on the show in the ensuing season. Lexi Zeiss is all SEC, and Kaylin Chio is the best gymnast in the SEC, best gymnast in the country, quite honestly. I mean, I don't know, coincidence?
No. I mean, it's a logical explanation. I mean, we all know AFR karma is a real thing.
It's been a real thing in baseball for a long time.
I mean, look it up. Like, it happens.
It's real. Hey, Kaylin Chio, you're welcome.
There you go.
Clip that. Why don't I get an award? Can I get an All-SEC award? I feel like I deserve it.
All-SEC radio host?
All-SEC gymnast. I want an All-SEC gymnast.
Oh, you want an All-SEC gym? Okay. No, I don't think you get that.
I feel like I deserve it.
Well.
I mean, their success is because of me.
Yeah, but you didn't do any gymnastics.
Is there an assistant coach award that I could get?
There we go. Now you're talking. Assistant coach of the year.
I think I qualify.
Checks in the mail, Jay Clark. What are we doing?
You know who's the assistant coach right now? Haley Bryant.
Yep.
I mean, it could be her because she's greatest gymnast ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it could.
Or maybe me because,
Or maybe you.
I had those two on my show.
AFR karma.
Just saying. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Congrats to them, though. That's awesome. We're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Supper Club open Wednesday night. My goodness, get on by. See our friends over at Supper Club. Weather is awesome. Great night to get out, date night, whatever it may be. Got clients in town, want to go close some business. Get on by Supper Club. Don't have a reservation? No worries. Pop on in. Always open seating at the bar. 14 bar stools, 7 bar tables. Pop on in, have dinner at the bar, or maybe get lucky. Maybe a table in the dining room pops open. No matter what, no matter if you're sitting at the bar table, your private booth, whatever it is, you're going to have the greatest dining experience. At Supper Club, that's what they specialize in. I mean, the food is outstanding. I mean, you're going to have one of a kind, quite literally, for Louisiana, in many cases the country. Like, I mean, we talk about the Omi beef, for example. That's the Japanese Omi beef, which is like the favorite cut from the Emperor of Japan. The farm there is 500 years old. They used to feed this to samurai because they thought it had special powers, like quite literally. You ain't getting Omi beef anywhere else. Certainly not in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's only 3 restaurants in America that serve it. You can get it at Supper Club, right there on Perkins Road. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
John Summerall, talking to reporters, said he has no idea, quote, no idea, quote, no clue who will be the starting quarterback in 2026. Georgia Tech transfer Aaron Philo is the front runner to be the starter, redshirt sophomore there. Tramel Jones, likely the biggest competition there. Jones appeared in 2 games for the Gators last season.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama set to hire Trent Simpson from Oklahoma as assistant defensive line coach. Previously worked under Brent Venables at Oklahoma. now leaving Norman to head his way over to Tuscaloosa. Simpson spent the last 4 seasons at OU3 as a defensive analyst.
The Texas Longhorns.
Sean Miller gave an update on Jordan Pope's status ahead of the Sweet 16, limping at the end of the game. Miller said to the media on Wednesday he's dealing with a lower leg situation. That's a quote. A lower leg. He's got a lower leg. You know that? Lower leg.
It's not as bad as a toe, but a lower leg's definitely a situation.
And it's not just a lower leg.
Yeah.
It's a lower leg situation. Texas and Purdue tip-off at 6:10 Central on Thursday.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Pitcher Austin Nye will not return this season after suffering an injury. Tim Corbin has declined to go into detail, only that Nye will be sidelined indefinitely. Might be related to a bicep injury that forced him out late February of action. So Nye's absence, significant blow to a pitching staff that really has struggled and had a lot of injuries so far this year. He was sort of one of the more highly regarded 2027 MLB draft arms. So he was a key contributor as a freshman a year ago. Nye out for the season.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And Brian O'Connor updated Ryan McPherson's injury, of course, the starting pitcher there for the Bulldogs. He was diagnosed with a mild forearm strain in the win against Southern Miss back on March 24th. O'Connor said, quote, "It's incredibly highly doubtful." I mean, no one for hyperbole, but incredibly highly doubtful? Incredibly highly doubtful?
Big day for quotes from SEC coaches today, man.
Incredibly highly doubtful. Not just incredibly doubtful. Not just highly doubtful, but incredibly highly doubtful. Might as well just amputate the arm. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Gents, go get your blood labs drawn. See if you're a candidate for HRT. Change the way you feel forever. YourGoodwood.com. YourGoodwood.com. All right, quick break. Come back. Taylor will be here for Bourbon Dictionary. Got booze questions. Get them in. Email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. It's AFR.
After further review.
Okay, y'all, the temps are creeping up now. It is time to call River City's 1 Hour Air to get your preseason AC tune-up. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Mention you heard about it on the show. They'll save you $30 for the preseason AC tune-up. Do not. If you can't remember the last time you had an AC tune-up, it's too long because you should do this every year. And it's so beneficial. They could potentially diagnose small issues and fix them before they become very big, very expensive issues. It'll make your system more efficient, so it'll save you money on your energy bills throughout the warm weather months. And this is preventative maintenance to extend the life of your unit so you don't have to replace it every so often. River City's 1 Hour Air. Call for your preseason AC tune-up. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit YourGoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Taylor's here. What up, dude?
I'm here, man. What's up?
What type of beer should we drink to toast the return of Will Wade to Baton Rouge when it happens?
Dude, I hope you're not getting people's hopes up because, this is the best news that I've heard in a long time.
Better than Lane Kiffin coming to Baton Rouge?
I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I love basketball, and I grew up going to basketball games, and it was just fun when he was here.
Yeah.
It's just not fun anymore. It is no longer fun.
No, it is not fun. Not at all.
It's very unfun. So
what would be your celebratory toast if in fact they push this thing across the finish line? Beer, whiskey, good rum. What are you doing?
I would probably. I've been holding on to a 3-ounce sample of the original batch of Jack Daniel's Coy Hill.
Okay.
And I would probably crack that. And I've been waiting for a good time. Even the birth of my last child, I didn't even feel obligated to open it. So.
Well, by the time you get to your third child, is it really as meaningful?
Well, I love him to death. He's great. But no,
Been there, done that.
Yeah, we're just trying to make it through life now, man. You know,
That's so good.
It's a little different. I know you've only done one, but yeah, it's a little different. Number 3, so
Yeah.
I still love him.
Our one was a little atypical as well. So I'm the wrong audience to be any type of gauge on how that may go.
Absolutely, I hear you, man.
Sean asked a question. Asked Taylor, "Are we popping champagne for the general?"
Absolutely, yeah, man. Hey, and I was gonna say, I tried something over the weekend that we just put out. That's really nice. That I think you would like. It's Old Forester single barrel proof rye. It's like 130 proof, but it is fantastic. I know you don't like higher proof stuff, and it is hot. But if there's somebody out there that likes high, well, I'm talking about it's hot. I'm not talking about the proof. It drinks hot, but I love it. It's really nice, like a fruit forward rye that has like the minty quality of Willet. But I tried to pour that this week, and I wanted to mention that it's really good. I think it's around $100, so we have a couple at the store. But I tried to pour that this weekend, and I really liked it just because of the proof, and it was a big full flavored rye. Just something I hadn't had in a while, anyway.
I like very much higher proof whiskeys. What I don't like is hot for the sake of being hot. I don't.
So this one is kind of hot. It drinks kind of hot, but like that's what I like. I think I've burned my tongue and my taste buds, and that's just what tickles me now. So, anyway.
Well, like if I drink you mentioned Coy Hill, okay? So I have 2 bottles of Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. The first one I got, I think, was 147 proof.
Yeah,
I mean that's absurd, but it's delicious.
Are they unopened bottles of Coy Hill?
No. I don't have anything unopened.
I was going to come rob you.
Well, I mean, I'll give you samples. I mean, I'll share. I don't mind sharing.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Man. Coy Hill.
I'll share. And then I'll gladly give you samples. And then I think I got a bottle last year, and I made a trade with Hannagriff because that's what it was. Hannagriff got a stag last year in thinking your raffle, and so I put together a very, very compelling trade package for him, which included the Coy Hill. There was a Coy Hill,
and I remember this, and y'all both got a good bargain out of the deal. So for what y'all wanted, I don't remember the specifics, but whatever.
He got. I think I ended up giving him. There was a client of his who wanted a Michter's something or other that I got. It might have been I don't know if it was the Michter's 10. It was
10. Yeah, I think it was 10.
It was a real. I mean, anyway, he got 3-4 really, really good bottles, but I got the best bottle. So it's but I would appreciate that stag more than I think he would have. So that's why he was willing to do it, I think. So it all worked out.
He's a reasonable man. That there's not too many reasonable people in whiskey.
That's true. Okay, give me some beer tips, man. It's crawfish season. What are people drinking out there at the Crawfish Barrels?
I have really been enjoying Parish Pescador. That's like a little Mexican lager they have. It's got lime in it. It's just a really simple, clean lager with lime. I have been drinking the heck out of that beer. We got the new vodka sodas from Abita. They're like High Noons, but they're Abita. I like drinking High Noon for crawfish bowls. And we're getting the new Bloom tomorrow from Parish as well.
Okay.
So that's always a really popular beer when it comes out. So it's one of their better IPAs in my opinion too. So
just gonna say I'm not a big seltzer guy, but I prefer. And it's not just because it's a Mockler product, but I prefer Neutral to High Noon. I think Neutrals are better. Just taste better. Than High Noons.
Me too. I like the Neutrals. I've gotten kind of sick of High Noons, to be honest with you. I really like Happy Dads. Have you tried Happy Dads?
Never had one.
I love Happy Dads. They're really simple and light. I know Mockler's going to hate this, but they're really simple, light seltzers. But anyway,
that's good. Well, I mean, Neutral. Neutral is a, and I'm not a big seltzer guy, but Erica drinks them, and the Neutral has a lemonade. Neutral and it's so you can get like a peach lemonade flavor. So if you want something that's like delicious and refreshing, that's not a beer, then those are good.
Yeah, those are nice. I mean, I enjoy neutral. I'd rather drink neutral over hot news. So.
All right, Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's. We appreciate it, man. We'll do it again next week. Hopefully we're celebrating the General.
God, that would be great. See you, man.
All right, man, we'll see. It's after further review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. I want to remind you right now, for the rest of this month, you got less than a week. 0% for 60 months on a brand new Atlas, 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. 0% for 60 months, 5 years, and $1,000 customer bonus. That's at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Hour 2 next.
After further review.
No worries, Muse. I was looking at it. All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We will hit Sports Center coming up, talk a little LSU baseball after their win over Louisiana Tech. Always love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, including the LSU baseball Tigers, guys like Derek Curiel, Stephen Milam, Chris Stanfield, on the roster of LSU NIL athletes doing deals there with Our Lady of the Lake. And as we often say, trust isn't given, it's earned. LSU baseball, they know what it takes to win championships. Our friends at Our Lady of the Lake, they know what it takes to help you win both on the field and in everyday life. Eric and I, earlier today, we were at Our Lady of the Lake, the Children's Hospital with Drew. Had to see, we had our 6-month checkup with Dr. Shaw, who's Drew's neurologist. Awesome guy, by the way. Great doctor, just a great human. So we trust the lake. With Drew's healthcare, my own personal healthcare, you should as well. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together we roar. OLRMC.com.